You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Justin
sir,
and my brother Freddie, man. Nice, happy to just start this shit off. It's
all good, bro.
My bad.
Start this shit.
I ain't gonna lie, like, god damn, that shit was like,
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
at the beginning, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We've been talking this whole time.
You gotta get the moment, get it out, bro.
Mic check, mic.
Yeah, bro.
These niggas better catch up. I'm outside getting to the cheddar. Looking good, drinking water, feeling better. Just copped Amazon, Microsoft, a little metal. My nigga, that's level.
What's up, y'all, man? Welcome to another episode of Take It or Leave It. I got my brother to the left of me, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Happy to have you.
Same.
And then I got my other brother to the right of me.
What's going
my
on,
boy
y'all?
Justin, man. So, yeah, man, we're going to definitely get into some great things. But first, man, I want to get this introduction to you, man. How everything been? What you been on?
Everything's good, man. You know, we starting finally coming to fruition with the development of the gym, you know.
Okay.
E-Fitness, you know, and we're just trying to track along, man. I think it started off as a dream, as a mission, and we finally coming to the end of that mission, man, and finally getting to that goal and bringing everything to life.
Man, that's a blessing right there,
Big blessing,
man.
man. Congratulations on that too.
Nah, for
That's
sure.
big. So how the dream come upon?
You know, it all started back in 2018.
Okay.
In 2018, man, that's when like we graduated.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when kind of like the early stages came, and it was like the true like let's just kind of dive in. And in 2016, you know, I worked in the cafeteria actually at McMurray.
Oh, I did not know that.
Worked in the cafeteria, man. So, you know, we've always kind of talked about me, Corey, and a couple of other friends, and I always put them aside. You know, we had our life talks, you know, outside of football, like what is it that we really want to do, you know. And my truest calling that I always felt like was fitness. You know, that's something I always told them, you know. I was always a guy that, you know, when you working out, man, like when we hitting the weight room, ever since my, you know, high school, you know what I mean? And it tracks back a while ago, but, you know, in 2016, that's when I really was like, man, you know, football was coming close to an end. I had torn my MCL, you know, and grade 3 tear. Yeah. And how was I going to come back from it? I was like, well, I'm not getting surgery. You know, our athletic trainers were terrible. You know, that's just what it is, you know, and nothing to them. Great people. Great people, you know, but I think the funding, you know, where we were couldn't really support it.
I got you.
And, you know, it was hard times, man. I went through a lot of spiritual breakdowns and I was sitting in the calf, man, legs propped up. You know, we had about 2 people come in the cafeteria on Saturday, so that was my day to just think. You know, and I was actually reading Art of War. Okay. You know, and in Art of War, you know, there are a lot of spiritual quotes in there that just kind of drive you to really just think about life, you know, in depth, more so than just the superficial pieces of life. And what I thought was like, you know, how am I going to move forward? You know, because life is a huge journey.
Right.
And that journey for me was a huge spiritual and heartfelt breakdown. And so on. In the cafeteria, man, I came up with E-Fitness, you know what I mean? And it started off as 3 letters, you know, and between those 3 letters, I was like, man, like, what do these 3 letters mean to me? And like, what can they resemble, you know? Because, you know, when you think eat, you think food, right? But how can you nourish the spirit, right? Is more so what I was thinking about, you know, and that's the piece that we try to touch on, you know. So if you look at like around the logo, you know, I don't know if people will be able to see it, but it says embrace, explore, and enhance. Okay. So embrace your tradition, explore, treasure, and enhance. Right here is my personal favorite, enhance the temple, you know, because when you think about enhancing the temple, people think about, oh, we're just trying to build the body, right? But in reality, the temple is a soul, it's a spirit, you know. And I went through such a spiritual breakdown, and mind you, it took me. I had a shift. It was a 7-hour shift. It took me all the 7 hours, and I didn't even get done. I only came up with one phrase, you know, just FY to everybody out there, you know, because I think people think when you see things like this, like, oh yeah, man, he came up with that, and it wasn't cool at first, and it stuck. But like, no, like it took me a while because I wanted it to be something meaningful to me, you know. And then when you think about, you know, embracing a tradition, when you think about anything in life, it's a tradition, right? Like when you think about prayer, right? Like prayer in families is a tradition, right? Eating good meals, right, is a family tradition, right? You think about workout and exercise and living a healthy lifestyle is a tradition. You know, in order to advance in life, you got to embrace some form of a tradition to get forward and move forward, right? And then, you know, the last one I have, explore treasure. I mean, it's that's the most point blank one and blatant one to me, because, you know, there are many treasures in life, right? You know, like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, you know,
Gotcha.
and you never know what that trash might be. You know, it might come in the form of a person, you know, it might come in the form of an object, you know, it might come in the form of an animal, it might come in the form of a friend, you know, whatever it might be. But in life, you know, these three sayings for me are what has been imperative to me to growing back my spirit, growing my family to where we are now, growing my business, you know, and even myself, you know, my personal development. And that's where it started, man. And after that, I think I showed Corey some stuff, you know what I'm saying? I was drawing up some T-shirts and stuff. And Corey was like, that looks terrible. And I was like, bro, just see it, you know, because I'm not the biggest artist, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes me a while to kind of get it going. And I was like, just see the vision, bro. And he was like, I see the vision, but I'm just saying, don't go with that. You know what I mean? And I was like, trust me, I'm not. But you know, now that we see the vision, like, it's happening, you know. Nice. And you know, I only ever told like 3 people, you know, him and 2 of my other friends, man. And you know, 2016 I was in, 2017 graduated, and then, you know, kind of through the stages of development, you know, I don't want to get too far in depth because this is going on our new Instagram page. But you know, we kind of like, it's a lot of in-betweens that happen and a lot of failures that happen as well. You know, a lot of startup and fall downs and knockdown, but you know, we just kind of kept getting up and kept getting going. And, you know, here we are now. You know, it just started off as a little simple dream from a small, big town kid, I guess, you know, H-Town, right?
Definitely.
And, you know, we went through a lot of things, man. And, you know, I think the spiritual breakdown is kind of where it got me to coming up with this and putting my all into something I really loved and cared about.
Nah, man, that's amazing,
that's
man.
dope.
Like, for
That's
real.
dope.
And, you know, like you said, I can pretty much vouch for everything because y'all don't know, but me and my brother played football together at McMurray University. And we used to go on these long-ass trips, you know, 6 hours long, bro. But, like, I commend everything that you're doing because you really you manifested that. I could really sit here and say that you manifested this when it was nothing. It was on paper. And I commend you, brother, because it take a lot to just continue to stay with your dream, your idea, and be consistent at doing it, man. And you did it, bro. So major shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to you, man.
Definitely,
man. Y'all get ready, man, for Justin, the gym coming, and all his
out.
fitness stuff going on, the merch. I know I'm gonna have me a collar shirt on the golf course.
That's my hat too. That's my hat. When I go to the gym, that's my number one hat. I don't know if you see in my store. I stay with that thing
all the time.
I said, hey,
all the time,
fall camp coming up, I may need that. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, man. I'm proud of you too, man.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And another fun fact, you know, because you didn't say it, so I'm gonna guess it. Spoiler alert. But it's the Superman. It's the Superman logo.
Superman logo.
Yeah, and the Superman is.
And I actually, you know, when I drew up the logo, it started off as a rectangle. Okay. You know, I sent it to Corey, and he was like, "You can do better, bro." And I was like, "Well, I want to do this." And I showed him just the Superman, just outer logo, the diamond. And I was like, but I feel like you think it could be copyright or something. And he was like, bro, just research, bro. Because, I mean, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but it would be dope if you can do something with it. So, you know, it took me like 3 hours to figure out if it was a copyright infringement because, you know, everybody only knows the diamond from Superman, right? And so after that time, I looked it up and I drew something up, right? And I would show y'all, but you got to go on the page for that. You know, I'm going to leave some gems for y'all, right? But I showed Corey a logo that I drew up, and instead of texting me, he called me, he said, bro. And I was like, do you like it? And he was like, that's not it, bro. That's not it, bro. And I'm like, dang. And I was like, I kind of knew it wasn't it, but like, you know, sometimes you want your homies to just say like, yeah, it's cool, right? But I was like, you know what? He real. Let's do it. So I think I stayed up that night till probably like 4 a.m. drawing this logo, man. And I actually drew this myself. I didn't get anybody to design it. Like, it's all me, you know. And that's one thing that I take pride in is like everything that I've done and we've done. You know, I've had a core group next to me, and pretty much everything is my vision. You know, it's no outside vision at all. You know, and I had a friend that tried to put some new logos on. I was like, nah, like this is me. You know, this is what I created, and that's what I want. You know, and like I said, the vision came from Superman. I always wear a S on my chest. You know, and people always ask, you know, and they ask why do you always wear Superman? Is it because it's your favorite superhero? But it's not so much so that, it's a little bit deeper than that. So my grandpa actually, Roland Thompson, my grandpa passed away when I was in college. Actually, like 2 games after our HBU game, probably one of my best games my sophomore year. You know, and that year he passed away, and I always called my grandpa my Superman since middle school, you know. And so in high school, my freshman year, my mom bought me a Superman necklace, you know. So that one ripped, of course. You know what I'm saying? And I bought another one, but that was like always how I kept him near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And so through college and even now, like this is just why it rocks with me. And that's why I really want to build it around this. You know, it's because that means a lot to me. And actually, where we built the gym is where my grandma and grandpa lived for 60 years, you know. So it's just a lot of history behind why it's this, you know, and why I created and why it's mine, you know, it's me. It's a direct representation of me, not someone else and somebody else's idea, you know.
I love it, man. I commend you, bro. I love everything. But one thing I wanted to speak on, though, because you said you had a lot of failures in the process, right? What kept you motivated on going and making sure that, you know, you got to your goal? What was the motivation behind it? Yeah,
most definitely. I think a lot of people have a different means of motivation, and where they kind of contrive that the word that they use in anime. I watch a lot of anime.
I do too. So I'm finna see what he finna say.
The word they use in anime is and they use it in Naruto a lot. I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's essentially. If I think of the word, I'll tell you. But essentially, it's a word that, like, you know, if you watch Naruto, I'm sorry to go off the brink a little bit, but just for a character reference, right?
Yeah.
You know, Naruto failed a lot.
Right.
He was very hated, you know, by the entire village, right? You know, as a kid that, you know, he didn't see a way out, right? He didn't see a way out, but the way he found his out, you know, was his friends, right? Who were his family, right? And so, you know, my way out from that, it wasn't really friends or so much so family, but it was, you see things that happen in your life and transpire and how your family lives, and all it takes is one. All it takes is one. No matter what the family is, no matter what you go through. And that's what I always knew. I knew I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the one. No matter what, I'm going to be the one for my family, right? Like, we've gone, like, I mean, my mom used to work, even still now to this day. My mom would work so long. She put us through private school, you know, and we had a great lifestyle for what we could afford, right? You know what I mean? And my dad wasn't there the whole time we were growing up, you know, so my mom's working double, triple shifts, working from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m. You know what I mean? So it would be days I'm at school, I'm like, man, where's mom? You know what I mean? Dad's not here yet. You know what I'm saying? Where's mom? You know, and then it would be grandma and grandpa. You know, you see them like waking up every morning. My grandma's 60 years old, cooking breakfast for us every morning. My grandpa's 60, still climbing on top of houses. You know what I mean? My mom, she 30, but she working 24-hour shifts. You know what I mean? It's like we just kind of, you as a child in that development, you just kind of just living, you know, you're not really just thriving. You just kind of living and just absorbing what's going on around you, you know. And you got two different ways you can handle it. You can just live and complain. You know, as a child, you got to either grow up quick or you just kind of grow up with the time, right? So we had the choice. You know, I think a lot of people have gone through this too, you know. You got a choice. You're just gonna be in the moment and just complain about the toys you don't get and grow up and then regret everything that's happened and just look back at your parents saying you didn't get anything, or are you gonna be, you know, wise up a little bit faster than everybody around you, say, you know what, man, like, I don't want my kids to go through that.
Come on now.
I don't want to go through that, right?
Come on.
I don't want anybody else around me and my main family to go through that, you know? And so every day, man, like, through all the spiritual battles that I faced through football, through school, through family, through friendship and losing and gaining friendship, it was just always like, I know I got to be the one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that stronghold, you know, even if nobody sees it, I know, you know, and that's what's driving me. Everything that's happened in the past in life with family, friends, like, this is what's driving me to be great every single day, you know, and that's my compassion, you know, and even my fiance knows it. Like, I'm so driven and motivated for me to be successful for the people around me and for my family, you know, that every single day, like, that's what drives me. I can go down to zero, and I've been down to zero many times down the road of being an entrepreneur, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's really driving you? If it's the money, then you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business. You know what I mean? Now, if it's the people around you or something different, more spiritual and loving and heartfelt that's guiding you, you're in the right spot. You know? And that's just the biggest thing. I say that to anybody that's an entrepreneur.
Man, that's beautifully said, because we talk about it all the time about building generational wealth, you know, for them exact same reasons. Just our family, You know what I mean? Like, we done watched our moms, our dads, our grandpas, like you said, uncles, aunties to this day just work day in and day out at a 9 to 5. And the entrepreneur route, a lot of people don't know, is just like, shit, that's how you gonna buy back your time. That's how you gonna really provide that wealth for your family. So everything that you saying, man, you getting me amped up right now, bro, really because like,
hey, not
like
to cut you off, but just to give some gems to you know our youth, you know, people younger than us or even older, you know, because you're never too old. But a lot of people are going to tell you not to do it because they're greedy, they're selfish. You know, they don't want to see you succeed because you might be a great employee. You might be a great asset to somebody, and they know you can do something greater, right? So they don't want you to succeed, but don't fall victim to it, you know?
Right.
And trust me, it's not me sitting here saying, look, I work a job. You know, I love my job to death, and I'm not going to quit no time soon.
Facts.
But I'm also not going to get my dreams held back by anyone, you know? And you have to be smart and wise on how you handle that, you know? I think it's a song Drake just came out with and dropped, you know? Y'all be working 9 to 5, I'll be working 9 to 9. You know what I mean? Like, you might think I'm crazy to a lazy mind, you know? And like, you might think he's crazy, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, look at the career. Use Drake as an example. You know, Drake was on Degrassi. His mom was making $40K. He couldn't even pay for the groceries and electricity and Wi-Fi and a cell phone. You know, and then he had to go after the studio. You know, and if y'all know, Degrassi is a huge show, especially in Canada. Right. You know, like it takes a lot of time to make a TV show. You doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Or you can get kicked off the set. You know what I mean? For not producing at a high level. Just like think about your everyday job, you can get fired. You're not producing. So you got to understand like how much time are you willing to put into something to be successful, you know, because you can be great at a job. I'm great at my job, you know, and that's not even on an arrogance level. I'm great at my job. I'm just a natural leader because I know what it takes to lead myself. You know what I mean? But even then, when I go home, I know I got to spend time with the family. Right, because people listening probably got a family, right? But then now it's you time. But you time, it might be after dark. After hours, you know, but what time are you trying to spend? And in between the lines, what are you trying to do? So don't ever be afraid, but you got to just do something. You know, every day do something. Do one thing. You know what I mean? And that's it.
And that's one of our mottos, just lay a brick a day. You know what I'm saying? Lay a brick a day.
I like that.
Just putting time to yourself. I know that's like one of the main things that you're saying. It don't matter if you got a 9 to 5, because we all got 9 to 5s.
We all do.
But making sure you put time into yourself so that you can create, like I said, that generational wealth, that impact that we really want, and buy back your time, man. Like, brother, you got me fired up, bro. Like I'm so fired up right now.
It's two things that I like that you talked about too. One, everything on the first half of what we was talking about, it was all about self-motivation, which I love. I mean, I feel like being an entrepreneur or just being in everyday life, you have to have self-motivation to keep going on day in and day out, because life ain't easy. It's hard, right? Every day is something that's gonna hit you. You know, you just don't know, right? We wake up and we thankful and we grateful and we pray that, you know, that it's a wonderful day, but we know trials and tribulations come, right? But you got to have that self-motivation to continue to go. And so to hear that from you, that was big too. Another thing I heard you say, and you brought up to the viewers, is family. And I'm big on family, and I know you know because you've been around. We big on family, and when you have a family, which you have as well on your own, you got to keep that balance as well. And I love how you inputted that, you know, because a lot of people get away from that, right? We worried about our 9 to 5, and then we go and work on our entrepreneurship, but then we lose the time with the family, and it's all about having a balanced life. And that was something that I picked up because, you know, being a football coach, you got to have a balanced life, right? Being an entrepreneur, you got to have a balanced life. So I think
a quote that hit me, you know, on I don't know if y'all watch Snowfall, but a quote that hit me at the end of a quote that hit me at the end. You know, his new wife said, you know, you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go long, you go together. You know, that's the biggest thing. And that's why I take pride in my fiance. You know, it was definitely many times throughout this phase of development that, you know, we fell off here and there, especially we had a child in this past year. But you got to refocus and appreciate it. You got to refocus and re-triangulate where that focus needs to be, you know, and it needs to be on your family, because that's the person who's going to have your back, you know, and she's had my back like no other, you know, and it's been a huge blessing, because any business move I try to make, she's like, yay or nay, right? Whereas in the past, it's like, you know what? I'm making this move. You know what I mean? Like, there is no other voice in my head telling me no, right? So a great partner, you know, is a beautiful thing, man, and you can never take it for granted.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Definitely. I agree 100%
I totally
too,
agree.
man.
Yeah, I'm in it because I'll be in the same position, right?
Yeah.
Like with my wife as well, who I love dearly, and I'm glad that I have her because she can stop me and be like, all right, babe, hold on. I know that's you. I know you want to go ahead and do that, but let's think about that. And it's always great to have a great partner, definitely when you're doing business, to help you through different times. So yeah,
Most definitely, because they help create that balance too.
Yes,
most definitely.
Yeah.
Like, cause you know we gonna be workhorses.
Yeah.
We workhorse, and they, hey baby,
Yeah.
it's okay to chill. Make sure you breathe, relax. You need that woosah. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So to be able to lay back on your foundation, family. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's your mom, dad, wife, etc. is a blessing.
Most definitely.
For sure.
The word I was thinking about is resolve. Resolve is it, you know, and you know,
talking about from Naruto, right?
In anime, you know, and if you look at a lot of anime, I don't know the word in Japanese, but resolve is mostly used in their language because resolve to them is like spirit. Right, like how we use the word spirit, they use the word resolve.
I'm really sitting here trying to think about what word.
So when you think about resolve is the ability to, no matter how many times you get knocked down, to get back up, right? That's what that is, right? So if you look at many animes, right, the main characters get knocked down a million times, right? And it's sometimes in the episode you like, they not getting back up, right? But they get back up, right? That resolve is unstoppable. It's inevitable, right? And that's something I've taken pride and passion in myself because no matter how many times I've been knocked down, I'm going to get back up. I don't care. You know, I'm going to make it no matter what. And as an entrepreneur, like, unless you have a high resolve, like, it's going to take longer for you to succeed. I'm not going to say you won't succeed because there's a lot of business plans out there, right, that you might not have the resolve, right? But along the line, it might have taken a while. You found somebody that does have it and you partner with them, you know? So I'm not sitting here and telling you to give up or you need to chase that, right? But sometimes if you don't have that and you know it, you need to find that person that does. And it might not be the time. It might not be the season for that. You know, I think we talked about seasons with friendships and business and whatnot, you know, like a few months ago, you know, and it's just sometimes in business, even in your entrepreneur of your own business, you might not be the most well equipped to run that business alone. Right. You know, and it takes a village sometimes. Some business you can, you know, like I'm blessed and lucky to have the resolve I have and the mindset I have and love what I do and then have, you know, the partner that I do to be able to do this together, you know, but in some lines of business, like it just takes a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, I got that, man. I love it all. But to go back to what you're saying, teamwork is everything.
Teamwork make the dream work. Teamwork make the dream work.
Teamwork make the dream work, and winning doesn't happen without a team. And that, you know, being a coach, and that's what I learned. Like, I don't care who you are, if you play basketball, soccer, whatever it is. Even when you boxing and you in the ring, you had that group behind you. And nowhere in life do you win without a team.
Yeah, most definitely. And I do want to give, you know, one last little go round, man. One person that's made everything really come to life, man, and you know full well is my dad, man. My dad is like,
major shout out to Pops.
Like dragon mode, like beast mode is an understatement for him, man. Like, and like I said, I can't really share too much, but you know, when we get our new gym page out, a lot of it is really gonna be like the stages of development that we went through, you know, to really just show people that it's not really an overnight dream. And it don't just happen in one day, you know, but we pretty much built everything ourselves in the beginning. And then when I got promoted in my job, he kind of took over that role. And I mean, he's made everything possible, man. And it's a beauty because it's something that I can contrive to somebody that's near and dear to my heart, you know. And we didn't, you know, me and my dad, we didn't have the best relationship growing up because he wasn't there a lot. But, you know, like the time that we spent together through work and through what we've built, you know, throughout the past 10, 15 years is like, it's priceless, man. Like I can't put a price tag on that at all.
That's lovely, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Major shout out to Pops because I done sat there and had one-on-ones with him, and that's a great guy.
Great man.
Great
Shout
guy,
out Pops, man. Shout out you, Pops.
Nah, man, you done dropped so many gems, brother. But I also want to ask, like, you know, for the youth, for any young guy right now with a dream, entrepreneurship, what's that one thing that you want to tell them right now on creating their business?
Yeah. Make a plan. Make a plan. You know, if I say like the first place you need to start, just like Corey knows, man, like I didn't move on anything until I had a solid plan and foundation set in place. I still have my mission statement and plan that we're going to move forward on from 2017, the first phase of development on everything we wanted to do within the year. I got a binder, a book that I got from Walmart. And it says E.A.T on it, all underlined. And it has all the stages of development that I wanted to do for that next 2-year period. I got a 1-year plan, 3-year plan, 5-year, and a 10-year plan. So to me, the most basic level of it is you got to have 1, 3, 5, 7, or at least 1, 3, 5, and 10 down. Like, have a vision. Yeah. Because without a vision, I mean, you're just leading yourself in the blind, in the wilderness,
Right.
You don't want to walk into a dark forest without a light, right? Create your light, right? And the light is only going to get brighter with the better of a plan that you construct starting off from the beginning, because at the end of the day, like, we're not trying to build forest fires, right? Like, I'm trying to build a flashlight.
Fact.
You know what I mean?
Fact.
Like, a forest fire is just me just going out and just doing it. If I build this flashlight first, with this unlimited lithium battery, we're in there. You know what I mean? We about to chop down trees and everything,
Yeah, most definitely.
So, and that's the biggest thing, not into getting into too much detail. Just make a plan, man. Make a solid infrastructure and foundation, and then just line up what it is you really need to do. And then just act, every single day, just act on something. It's going to seem real hard, and make it things that are unachievable. I made things that are unachievable, and I feel like, look at where we at now.
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten started. Yeah. You know what I mean? We ain't even gotten started. So it's like, just make that goals, make the plans, and take a deep breath. If people around you don't really believe in you, it's okay. Everybody not going to believe in your vision,
Right.
As long as you believe in the vision, because you're the leader, right? And the leader is the reflection of a leader is the people you lead, right?
Yeah.
So if you can make someone that's following you believe in that vision, you already won. Just one person, you already won,
That's
major. That's major. Because I see a lot of people that, like, especially like when it comes to like social medias, they always saying like, man, like, nobody got me and stuff like that. Like, far as that, like, they looking for someone to have their back. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like, when you got a vision, it's a with or without you mentality. Like, I feel like that's the mentality that you gotta have.
Amen.
Like, going after your dream. You know what I mean?
It's your dream.
Facts. It's your
Remember
dream.
that. It's your dream.
Exactly. So, like, don't use that as a crutch to stop your progress. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go out there, research it, and do whatever you got to do until those people come and they align with you.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't sit here and say that throughout this whole entire process that we've been building and growing, and now that we're finally about to like actually make big time moves, because I mean, I did training, I did group training, I did personal training, I'm back training again, finally, and it was a lot of times where people around me that are really still near, dear, and close to me, even my fiance, like, they didn't just 100% buy into what I was doing in the vision, even my dad, who's helped me through a lot, he didn't 100% buy in with the vision, my mom, you know what I mean? But like, I believe in my vision because it's my dream, right?
Right.
And now they see it and it's like, wow.
Yeah,
we're here.
Yeah,
and like now they can only see like, dang, we really about to, it's really about to happen, right?
Right.
But you got to get yourself there, and that's why I also say, from earlier, contributing back to earlier when I said, like, if you're not that person that has that resolve to really just believe in yourself, you will need somebody in that corner, and it might take time to find that person. So don't rush either. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of here and there's to it, but all in all, just like you said, it's brick by brick, lay brick a day, lay brick a day.
And then the other thing on that, is just the plan, right? Most of the time, people just go out and then they just take the risk. Like, they just like, okay, I'm gonna start this T-shirt company. Let me go print them up and I'm just start selling it. And right, and it sound good at the moment, but then you come down because you don't know what's next. It's like, after you sell out them shirts, what you doing next? Right. I think now when you have that plan, you done wrote it down, and then you go make that risk and you sell those shirts out. Now you have that plan. So having a plan is the biggest thing, because most of the time we don't have a plan. We have an idea, but we don't have a plan.
Exactly.
And that's a big statement right there.
That's a gem right
Nah,
there.
most
That's what you
definitely.
need to listen to, because that's the real behind it. You know what I mean?
most
I feel
definitely.
like especially now, this day and age, like kids, I mean, think what's going on in the world, right? You think about cryptocurrency, you think about what just came out, the NFTs, right? You think about Nvidia, right? You think about stocks and bonds is going nuts. You think about real estate market, like I mean, think about all these things that are really like exploding short term that people feel like I can just do. But then if you think about the business side of it, they're thinking even the same with business. Like, man, this $1 million business just went up off of selling this product that's hot right now, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's for you,
Right.
you know? And like, to me, when it comes to entrepreneurship, it has to be something you love. You know what I mean? Because even if you fail, you don't even care.
Right.
The only thing, you ain't even feeling long term, you feeling right now, right? Because what some people get into is entrepreneurship for them is like the money. So if I fail now and I put my all into it, done, right? So that's the thing, you know. I think you gotta do something you love, and you gotta have a plan.
Gotta have a plan.
Right.
And then, like, real quick, because with having the plan, and you know how you said you had that self-motivation, your dad at first didn't believe, or not saying that he didn't believe, but he wasn't all in at first, same with the wife and things like that. I feel like a lot of times it's not, like, people want to see you act on your plan. Right. It's a lot of times I've been behind. Even I can give you an example of my brother when he started music. You know, for me to understand that he really wanted to take it serious, I always was this one like, man, I got to see you work. Like I'm not finna just be going crazy right now and you not working. Then and he put his plan together and started seeing him like, nah, he really in the studio. I started going in his room. He's really writing and trying to find how to make beats and stuff. Now I'm involved in that plan and I want to help create and add value to the plan. And I feel like that's what your people doing, and that's cool. That's cool to hear too, as well. And I think it's with me too and coaching. Like, you know, once people really start, my family start really seeing me like, oh, he really gonna coach. Then shoot, you look on the sideline, they all behind you with the Coach Freddie J shirts.
Yeah, people got to see commitment.
Nah, for sure. I agree 100%.
It takes time, you know, and you can't, as like people listening, like, don't ever feel like just because people don't see your commitment and you working behind closed doors that they're not really committed to you. They're committed to you, but they're not committed to the dream you have because they don't know if it's real, right? You know, like, man, I got people that I've been around, right? And like, it's like, man, they say they're gonna do something now, they do that and they move, and it's just like, you know, it's just too the easiest word to use, cliche, wishy-washy, right? Like, people want a solid foundation in life, period, right? It's just like when you tell somebody to invest in something with money, right? You're not just gonna invest in something you don't know anything about, right? Or you don't see moving, right? But same thing when it comes to your energy, right? You're not going to invest in something that you don't see the commitment into. You know what I mean? Like, your energy is a lot, right? And you're not going to put the time, thought, the voice and the heart and the spirit into something that you don't just see somebody committed to, you know? So, and I think that's the biggest thing. So don't ever get heartbroken that, you know, even if, you know, your mom or dad right now don't really see it, or your girlfriend, whoever, but just stay committed and just show them it's going to happen.
I love it, man.
I love that.
You drop some gems.
My boy dropping gems after gems after gems, but I appreciate it, and I know the viewers gonna appreciate it too. For sure. For real. And you did say something we didn't get on topic with. What you think I would say?
Because he started talking about like stocks and all of that.
Exactly.
He mentioned crypto, and then I was like, man, it's been a hot week.
It's been a hot week, man. It's been a super hot week. So yeah, you caught me as soon as you said that. I was like, oh my boy on it. So let's back it up. You know what I'm saying? So XRP, man, it's been a big week in the crypto space, man. I know y'all both seen it. The lawsuit. After 2-3 years has been resolved. You know what I mean? How y'all feeling?
Like, for me, it been crazy. I've been in XRP since 2017. Is when I found out about XRP. I'll never forget. It was Ripple, really. Like, just seeing the commercial, it came up, and like just diving into it. You know, Bitcoin was hot at the time, but then I was like, dang, what is this Ripple? It was low. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, thousands of dollars. This like 17 cents. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna invest in this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And what caught me was the transaction stuff, like, you know, the peer-to-peer transaction. I'm like, man, this is the first of its kind. You know, and But, now, fast forwarding to now in the last 3 years, I'm like, dang, I got all this crypto, XRP, the Bitcoin people saying, hey, they may not win.
Right.
You hearing there the media, and you're like,
Fact.
do I believe in them and stuff like that? But, just staying true to your research. You know what I'm
Most
saying?
definitely.
For
And
sure.
I was happy, man. I called my brother, bro. It was like we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just
already
like,
knowing,
like,
yeah.
it was like,
real.
man, like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because we believe in the infrastructure of it. Yeah.
No,
So,
most definitely. Like you said, they solving a big issue with cross border
Yeah.
transactions, and I think that's a major thing. Like, you know what I mean? And like for the youth that's listening to right now, I just want y'all to understand like the importance of just global economics in general. You know what I mean? 'Cause I feel like it translates to a lot of things.
It
You know
does.
what I
It
mean?
definitely does.
Like
Yeah.
it definitely for me opened my eyes to so many things. So what we're talking about is XRP Ripple, which is solving a major global issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's about control and it's about speed, because
Yes.
right now we're very controlled economically, right?
Fact.
And the speed of that control, is a problem as well, right? Because right now you think about you use a Visa, right? I think Visa, they came out with like an article, and Visa is like maybe like 2 million transactions like every 5 minutes, right?
Right.
Which people might think like, man, that's a lot, but in reality,
it is not.
when you use a coin, I mean, it's like you can get like 1 billion transactions in like a minute, right?
Right.
And then people think like, well, what does that mean, right? So for people listening, what it means is your transactions can go untracked, right? You can buy the things you want. And so some people feel like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, right? But when you think even on a small scale and a wide scale, the reason that you want to control the transaction so you can see the money coming in and flowing out, right? So then they can control the amount of money that we make, the amount of taxes that we pay, and the securities on all these monies, right? So I think it's kind of unfortunate that it's a lot of information out there on it, but it's kind of negative. It's kind of misleading, right? So you think about Bitcoin, it's like it's this big scary thing that we don't know if it's gonna go up or down, right? But people don't get into detail about, what is it really doing for you, right?
Like the technology
The
of it.
Right,
technology
because then it's
of
like
it,
you got, let's just kind of be real, you got the people who are conservative, or Republicans, you got high school, you got the jocks and the nerds, right? It's like the people who are really like for it are the people who are a little bit more educated on the tech side, right?
Yeah. Right.
People are the people who are really not educated, right?
Right. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like what this problem can solve, who knows what will happen, right?
Right.
Is that, I mean, we got a financial crisis.
Yep.
There's a financial crisis.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? It's a financial crisis. And where does that financial crisis start? It starts at the government level, because they are controlling, GDP. Who's controlling that? The government, right? Taxes, who controlling that? The government. Social Security, who controlling that? The government. How much cost of living is, who controls that? The government. Imports and exports, who controls it? The government, right? So, and it's not to say the government is a bad thing. Not at all. Not at all.
No, we're not saying that.
But, these are trying to solve a bigger issue that a lot of people at face level can't really see.
Gotcha.
Even like my parents, I try to educate them on, they like, over their head,
Right,
and they're like, it's okay, it's cool for now, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot of things in the works, like we spoke about a few weeks ago, that it's gonna make it more known as to why they should have probably bought into the XRPs and the Bitcoins and the Ethereums, right? And I think it just hasn't come to fruition, so people are just like, you know what, let's push it to the side, right? So and it's unfortunate, but hopefully people just, as time goes on, before our super financial crisis happen and we go through double inflation, seeing that Bitcoin might actually be closer to being a currency in the world somewhere, you know what I mean, and accept it. So we'll just kind of see how that time flows. But man, it's a huge topic, like you said.
Nah,
it's
most definitely
hotter than hot,
hotter than hot, because we just got clarity to a whole new space.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what he said. Out of all of that, we just got clarity to a whole new space. You know what I mean? So when you think about Amazon, Facebook, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna even go like that deep, but I'm gonna just say like the internet. When you think about the internet, before the internet was the internet, it's like, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
It's an innovative technology that's here. And, if you a believer like me, always do your research. I feel like it's here to stay.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Do your research.
Always
that's
do
the
your
main
research.
thing.
You need to know about this.
Yeah.
And I think it's just doing your research on all cryptocurrencies and just knowing about the field, the whole crypto industry at a whole is just knowing about it and really diving into it, because in the next 5 years, I believe that it's going to take a major role in our economy.
Our economy for sure. And as a disclaimer, if you want to find out quick information, you can always use ChatGPT. I'll tell you that right now. Just look up what is cryptocurrency and why is it important in our economy, and you're gonna get like at least a million words, and it'll be a quick read rather than looking on Google at different articles. So just FYI, because y'all probably sitting there like, man, I'm not reading these articles, right? But ChatGPT got your back, got your back.
And if you have trouble understanding, you can talk to it in a certain way for it to explain it to you. You know what I mean? I do it all the time.
You ain't have to read it. Think about this, at your fingertips. So I mean, man, it's crazy the things that are out here right now. You know what I mean?
Today, Microsoft just added a $30 subscription.
$30 subscription
today,
and that
just shot up like crazy.
Shut up, man.
And that's why, like me and my brother was talking earlier, it's just important to have your ear to the ground. The ground. Like it's bigger than what we see on World Star and the Shade Room and things like that, man. It's a lot going on.
It's a lot.
And, a lot.
And you got to be educated, because it's gonna affect. It might not affect you right now, but it's gonna affect you. You know, it's just like the housing crisis. You know, what was it 3 months ago that the law got passed? It higher credit scores, get higher interest rates now. You know, but it's like those are things that you look on CNN. Is that clip only lasted for about 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
They're in and out, right?
You're too busy watching submarines.
Exactly. Watching submarines, or not even submarine. Watching, LeBron get kicked out the playoffs. You know what I mean? We watching something. We watching too many things that are distracting us from what's really going on. And then now you go put yourself in a situation where you don't know what's going on, and now you feel like you getting screwed. But in reality, it's just you got to stay. I don't know the correct verbiage, but read it up. You got to read. You got to read.
That's what
you
got
to read or listen. At minimum, you got to listen.
Most definitely.
And that's what another thing I want to talk about, like, because you mentioned it, and our parents was the same way about your parents, and like how when you explain to them at first, they like, dang, but we're grateful that our parents, like, they started listening, they start coming around. But it's also beyond our parents. You got different friends that you try to, like, man, I'm putting you on game, like, and they just don't listen.
Yes.
How do we get to those people to, like, hey man, I'm not telling you stop, look searching on World Star, but I'm saying take a few minutes to look up crypto.
And I think like individuals like that, it just needs to be kind of like how we stem off each other. In the podcast, off conversations and whatnot. I think it's just like a stemming conversation, and like that's really the easiest way to get through to somebody. Or, the on the bad end of it, the latter end is they go through something that had, traumatic enough that they like, hey man, you told me about this and I didn't listen. Now put me on game, right? And then sometimes by that time we long gone. We probably don't even have the time to do that. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, the most generic cliche phrase, people gone people. People gone people, man. And sometimes they're just not gonna listen to what's right there in front of them.
That's a good answer.
And I feel like for myself, I'm just happy with planting that seed, or at least saying something. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think we was talking. I just had a conversation with some of my friends, and I was just telling them, like, man, bro, like, because we was having a conversation that's just about bullshit, like shit that I'm not really interested in. And I had to tell them, like, man, man, y'all gotta refocus y'all mental, bro. Like, this don't matter. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? And then I got on certain issues as far as just like, man, do you understand that, like, bro, they got artificial meat out here. You know what I'm saying? I start talking about, like, assets and, like, me, I'm so passionate about my friend. You know how I am. I'm passionate. Like, you ask me something, I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm coming at me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I want to see everybody succeed, and sometimes, like, I get so passionate about just wanting my friends to succeed that don't see, like, bro, like, this shit is happening. Like, when I start talking to SRP, they you know what I'm saying?
Some people don't want to listen.
About assets. So, you know what I mean? Like I said, I just feel good about just planting that seed.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And they, usually, I feel like this day and age, people usually come around. And it's a time frame thing. But they all end up coming around because people heed wisdom. Like, people are always gonna follow the wise. So that's the biggest thing I feel on it. And at the end of the day, plant the seed, and just kind of let them come your way.
I got you on that. Like I totally agree on that. I think I just be wanting more definitely in our community to just like go look at more than our hip hop, our sports, and I'm a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Music,
and it's more going on.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's awesome. But that was a great answer, Justin. Man,
most definitely.
That was dope.
Nah, most definitely. Like
love the topics, man.
Nah, for sure. And you heard it from Coach. She said, I feel like that's the thing. Like you more than just basketball, football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You way more than that. Than a sport. You know what I'm saying? Than a job. Like you way more than that.
And that's really what I be trying to show. You know what I'm saying? Coach Freddie J is not just a football coach. He's not just a basketball coach.
Yeah.
You know, he's a family man, husband, a brother, a big brother. I'm a mentor. I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
You know, I do it all. You know, and I want to show that and let people know that you can do it all.
Right.
You showing that. You know what I'm saying? You showing that. We all showing that, and that's what we need to see more out here. You know, we so minimized to like I just gotta go be a firefighter. Nah, man.
For sure.
Nah, man.
That's not the truth.
That ain't the truth,
not
man.
the truth. That's not even how we were created.
Right.
You know, not more health wise, mental wise, you know, even our spirits, right? Like we're not created to be one dimensional human beings.
Right.
You know, like we were created to think.
Yeah.
You know, we were created to move.
Right.
You know, we were created to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To create.
Yeah, like that's the biggest thing. And I think you know, I think certain individuals just don't really understand that. You know, we get caught up in the Matrix. You know, we get caught in a great movie, great series. You know, it didn't end well, but we get caught up in this matrix of like, I go this 9 to 5, take care of my family, I go home, right? But it's like, man, what more is there to life? Go have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and what your fun is always going to be different, you know? And for us, you know, an individual like us who we want to live a certain lifestyle, you know, entrepreneurship is fun for us. You know, it's not fun for everybody. Right. You know what I mean? But find whatever your fun is. You know, some people, you might have a great job, right? But are you just going home and not spending this money and not having a family? Like, you got to find out what your fun is. You know, have fun with life. You know, and it's a part of it.
Facts.
You know?
I like that. Have fun with life.
That's what it's about. Because we all going through a life experience. That's pretty much what we're here to do, to go through and have our experience. But it's crazy because a lot of people, when you say Matrix, they be like, oh, here you go with the third eye type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people don't actually realize the system that we in. You know what I mean? They don't really understand that they're in a system. You know what I mean? Because I see it all the time. Like, people 9 to 5 go home, and I had conversations where they feel like they just don't have the time to do anything but a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? And I'll try to tell them like that's a part of what the system is for. It's for you to have a worker's mentality. You know what I mean? So the cycle continues. You know what I mean? And if you don't do certain things like we talking about, as far as like reading up on global economics and the things that's happening in the world, stocks, you know, everything, you can get caught up in a wash. You know what I mean? So I think it's important, like I said, for us to just continue to just advocate and let people know. And go on
most definitely. They got to find their own spiritual, mental, or physical journey, you know, to health and freedom. Whatever that freedom means to you. You know what I mean? Different to everybody.
That's what's up, man.
Facts, man. But this was nothing but good conversation. Because I ain't gonna even lie. I know we're gonna keep on going because I'm ready to keep it going myself. But you know, we always gotta leave with the quote of the day, guys. And the quote of the day is: health and fitness is not about the weight you lose, but the life you gain.
I like that.
It's not straight up. Straight up.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Hey, guys, y'all could take it or leave it. That's a wrap.
Fun sway.
These niggas better catch up. I never climbing with the circus. I be focused on the cheddar. I be walking with a purpose. Head out, chest out for the ones that wanna hurt. I'm a god in the flesh, that for service. You clear me.